Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 52 of Six Figure Live. Coming to you guys from my studio here. This is up in Delaware, Ohio, just north of Columbus. Coming at you guys from my painting studio. And we're in episode 52. Sorry, my cable's dropped here. We're in episode 52 of Six Figure Live. And today is Q&A Friday. What's up, one person? Give me a thumbs up. Give me some hearts. Give me some love. So I know that you're actually out there listening. Q&A Friday, the way this works is, Megan, what's up, girl? I want to answer questions, and so please ask questions. I'd love to answer them. These can be questions about work, about the technical aspects, lighting, camera gear, any of that technical stuff, posing, directing, client interaction, marketing, branding, whatever you got. Victoria, hey, what's up? Hey, Megan. So I'd love to answer these questions for you guys. That's entirely what today is about. So be thinking about these questions, write them down. I'm going to answer them live on the spot. It can be about personal stuff too. So anyhow, I'm going to let you guys think about that for a minute. And I'm going to get things going here. We're going to turn around. It's at 4 people now. We're going to turn around here and we're going to get the intro video going. I want to show you guys the Miller's print that I have hanging in the house now. For those of you who watched from the beginning, I designed the layout in Fundy and then ordered them directly through Miller's. Got them in, did a live unboxing video. You guys have to check that one out. I think it's episode 51 is the unboxing video. Maybe it's episode 50. Yeah, it is, episode 50. And I just got all those hung yesterday, and today I did the other half. And so I want to show you guys those because they really look awesome in the house. And so in the meantime, if you're just joining Six Figure Live for the first time out of all 51 other episodes, the entire purpose of this show is just for me to come to you guys in a very candid manner. I mean, I'm just in like my t-shirt, I need a shave, and just bring you behind the scenes at what's up. You know, what do we do here at Style and Story Creative to produce the work that we do, to give our clients the service that we do, really bring you guys behind the scenes at what we value and how we pull it off from a day in, day out. The reason we're not at the office right now is because on Fridays we all take off. I give my whole crew the day off. I tend to work from home and just kind of keep some things going. Today I've already had 2 phone calls with brides, another phone call with a wedding planner, and I just kind of work from home. And the reason again is just to gain some semblance of normal life, right? Because we're shooting on the weekends, we're shooting Saturday or we're shooting Sunday, and so I want to have time for friends and family, and I want to give that to my guys. And so I'm just here from home. I'm in my little painting studio here. It's really my dining room, but then I fenced it off, and I'm working on this painting here of my wife and baby girl, still in the underpainting stages, but I'm working on it. I got some like painting walls. It's kind of crazy. Anyhow, Victoria's got a question going. I love it. And we're going to get to these. Keep the questions coming in. Kaylee, what's up, girl? All right. Without further ado, we're going to start off as more questions roll in. I'm going to show you guys the intro video because I love it, because it makes me smile, and that's half the reason I do things is because they make me smile. And then I want to show you guys the actual canvases in the house, all set up and ready to go. I'm talking a little bit quieter in case you see my energy level is a little bit lower because my little girl's sleeping. So she's fast asleep, and I don't want to wake her up. Leslie joined. Hey, pretty girl. Okay. 7 people here. We're going to hop over to the intro video, and then we're going to jump right in. I want to answer questions, and I want to show you guys these prints live. Let's do this thing. Wait for it. Wait for it. Yeah, I love the lo-fi aspect of that. It always gets me. Victoria, you have a great question. I want to answer that. So stick around. I'm going to get to it for sure for you. It's a question about personal style, and really it's a question about curation as well, and self-awareness. And so I want to talk about that with you. It's something that I have a lot of opinions and thoughts on. And you guys, as we're doing this too, this is what this comes down to. I'm like one guy. These are my opinions. These are my thoughts. They've gotten me somewhere. They've gotten our business somewhere. And so I hope is that they'll help you. but at the same time, I'm just a person and I'm moving forward in all of this with you guys. And so hopefully you'll learn from my failures. You'll learn from some of my ideas and some of my successes. But I'm really just a dude. So I just have to put that out there as well. I'm sure you guys all know it. Let me show you some of these canvases now live for you guys to see. We'll kind of walk them out. So I'm going to talk at a whisper because we're going to get near my baby girl's room. So this is one set, and if you recall from Fundy Designer, I had taken a picture right with my iPhone of this area. You can go back and watch that episode. These are Miller's prints. These are on canvas. They're gallery wrap, 1.5 inch deep. I didn't want to go too wide so that way you don't catch it as you walk by. Lovely picture of Leslie there at the bottom. Us all together. Then me with my little girl. So again, that's that set of prints right there. Then as we go up the stairs, you're going to see this set of 3 other canvases that are leading up the stairs. So now I'm really going to talk quietly because I'm going to walk right by her room. Okay. I love this shot. These are 2 feet by 3 feet as they kind of go up the stairs here. Okay, cool. Let me go and show you this way. Isn't that hot? That's so hot to me. I love these images. Even already today when I was carrying her up the stairs, she got to each of these. They're like right at her level, you know, and she's just like touching the canvases as we're walking by, and it just makes me smile. It makes me smile so much. All right, I'll stop whispering. I'll go back to my little corner here, and we'll keep talking. Maybe I'll even step outside so I can get my energy level back up, because I have a hard time doing this stuff without my energy level being like at an 11. All right, you guys, I'm sitting on my front porch. Hopefully the internet connection stays strong. If not, I'll go back to the dining room. Let's jump in. Let's start talking questions here. Let's get some answers going. Thank you guys for asking. Jason's got some questions. Megan's got some questions. Thank you, girl. And we got Victoria. Let's start with Victoria's. We'll work our way down. I really appreciate you guys showing up. Can I just say that, actually? I know there's 8 of you watching right now, and I know, probably 1,000 or so will end up watching this by the end of the week. But the 8 people that are here live right now, the 10 people that are here live right now, the 2 people who just showed up, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart. I want to know who you guys are. Thank you. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting what we do. I'm really starting to do a lot more traveling with speaking. I'm going to be at Canada Photo Convention. I'm going to be at United. I'm going to be at Imaging PPA. I'm going to be at Mystic. And the reason this is happening, the reason that it's occurring is because people are listening. People are actually like supporting me, and you're appreciating the value that I'm putting out there. And so I'm really doing this for you guys. I'm doing this to help you kind of skip ahead a little bit, man. To again just learn from my failures, learn from my mistakes, and keep moving the needle forward in your business. I want that for your business. I'm not worried about competition, dude. If I was worried about competition, like I'm doing a workshop. I'm going to do a workshop this year called Abundance Maximizing Joy, Meaning, and Profits, and I'm going to do it. And there's 3 photographers from my own freaking city that are going to be at this workshop. This is not a workshop about like how to take good pictures. This is a workshop about how to actually run a thriving business and generate more leads to your company and more bookings to your company. I'm not worried about losing bookings, you guys. I'm going to be okay. There's enough brides to go around. I want the entire industry to keep moving forward. I want Columbus, Ohio to become just like I'm not sure what the right word is, like a mega city for wedding photographers. I want all these other photographers to do as well as we are, and I'm not really worried about anybody else but myself and helping you guys out as well. Okay, so here we go. Susan's in the house, Lauren's in the house. Question time. Victoria says, how long did it take for you to get your style down? I love bright and airy, but I also love a lot of contrast and off-camera flash shots. Can I do both? Or should I just choose one and stick with it to keep things consistent? This struggle is real. Girl, this struggle is real. Great question, Victoria. Look, I'm continuing to develop and hone my style, and I think I'm going to always be, but I think that's a bullshit answer, what I just said right there, because I know you're talking about something more specific than that, and I get that. Look, when I first started out, I was looking at what everyone else is doing, and there was all the trend of the 50 millimeter 1.2 backlit with the sun exposed for shadows, film look, and that was huge for a while. And now then there's all the off-camera flash stuff and the fearless kind of approach and wide and epic and silhouettes and punchy color. So I get there's like these varying styles. And for the longest time, I really I was torn. I felt kind of schizophrenic because I really liked the light and airy, but I loved going harsh and contrasty and kind of wild. And my portfolio started to get really full of both. And I'm going to be honest about it. I got invited to speak at Mystic, and I sent over the work to the people over at Mystic. By the way, if you're not familiar with Mystic, you should go check it out. It's one of the best conferences you guys could attend. So I went and I showed him the work, and he was like, "Your work's all over the place, bro." And it's fair. It really is fair. It was. I think I was wanting to be accepted by everybody. I was wanting to be attract multiple brides. I didn't want to turn away the bright and airy brides. I didn't want to turn away the fun, adventurous brides, and I liked shooting both. And so I was kind of putting everything out there. And I think in a lot of ways it was stalling me out, and I had to make a decision. I really had to make a decision of what do I stand for, what do I want to move forward in. So I'm going to give you the same advice. I actually just interviewed a photographer on the podcast. I felt the exact same way. I went to go look at their work. I'm not going to drop names. I don't want to out anybody. I'm going to save face here. But I went to go look at their work, and I was like, this looks like my work a year ago, meaning it was just all over the place. And I didn't know what they stood for. I didn't know what kind of questions to ask. I didn't know where their heart was. And I think it's important. But I don't think you have to rush into it. I want to encourage you to thrash. I want to encourage you to try everything. I want to encourage you to shoot with the 50 millimeter 1.4 backlit with the sun, exposed for the shadows all damn day for like 6 months. And then I want to encourage you to shoot 35 millimeter prime, get some off-camera lighting, some young loads or some 600s, invest in mag mods. By the way, if you guys want to use mag mods, SFP, all capitals, to get you $5 off. Just they do that for you guys. So if you want $5 free, there you go. Invest in some mag mods and start lighting stuff, start experimenting. Do that for 6 months, and then just play. You have to thrash. You have to keep pushing yourself forward. And there's no way to know until you start trying it both. But I think eventually, Victoria, you gotta focus in. You have to stand for something, right? You really have to stand for something. And I think this is true within the niche that you choose, but I think it's true in the way that you shoot. You really have to be convicted by something and start to hone in, but don't feel rushed into it. Okay, take your time, but thrash, try everything, and then slowly you're going to start to focus up. The only way this works is if you keep shooting. You just have to shoot the hell out of every possible thing. And to be honest, for the longest time, this was really true when I was doing details. I would literally shoot a detail both with all natural light and then with flash. All natural light with flash. I did this for about a year. I did literally every single detail shot, every shoe shot, every dress shot, both natural and with a flash. Natural, flash. And I just, every time I would come back from the wedding, I would say, which do I like more? Which do I like more? And you just have to start asking yourselves those questions. Okay? Cool. Thanks, Victoria. Great question, girl. Let's keep going. I think Jason's up. Jason says, what are some ways to help couples get lost in a moment? That's a really good question. A couple ways to help couples. Tell people, it's the question about posing, right? It's the question about posing and all that stuff. I think a big thing is to actually to know who you're talking to know your couples, you guys. This is why phone calls are so important. This is why actually spending time with the people that you're photographing matters. I said 2 phone calls with brides. They reached out to us. One reached out to us yesterday. One reached out to us today. I did not email them. I called them. You guys, we had a 20-minute conversation, and I found out, I mean, so an incalculable amount of information more than I would have ever found out through an email. I'm discovering stuff about these people that I would have never found out through an email, and it affects the way that I photograph. It affects trust. It affects every moment that'll happen from this point forward, and that matters when you're getting behind the lens. The next thing is, I think, in order to help people get lost, is to help get them outside of their head. They're too stuck in their head. And this might sound crazy, but one of the best ways to do that is to continually connect with them and talk with them as you're photographing. As soon as things go silent, 3 seconds feels like 30 seconds to them. 30 seconds feels like 3 minutes. And they're wondering, am I doing this right? I don't know. What should I do? And they start looking at you and smiling, and they like go back in for a nervous kiss. And be in connection and let them know what you're thinking. If you're changing a lens out, if you're looking at the lighting, if you're changing your ISO, literally tell them that. Hey, you guys, this is going great. I'm just going to make a quick adjustment here to my lighting. You guys can relax. I just want you to know what I'm thinking as I'm doing it, so you're not over there like wondering, Communicate with your couples in those moments. The next thing is, I think, anytime you can create actual movement, actual motion, you're going to be much better off. So rather than saying go forehead to forehead, put your couples apart from one another. right? Give them a 3 foot gap and just say, I want you guys to take a couple steps in towards each other and pull each other in close, just snuggle on in, and whatever comes, just let it happen. And so just maybe bring them together that way and see the way they interact. Maybe she just tucks her head into his shoulder, or maybe she looks right at him, or maybe they go in right for a kiss because they don't know what else to do. But different people will interpret different things. The next thing, another little tip is just to ignite a moment. When I say to ignite a moment, what I mean is if the couple is, like forehead to forehead in, and they're snuggled in close, and you want to say go in for a kiss, instead of saying go in for a kiss, that has one possible outcome, right? It's a black and white situation. It's like asking a close-ended yes or no question. Give an open-ended kind of an ignite, right? And so maybe instead of like going for a kiss, sometimes I'll say I want you guys to get as close as you possibly can without actually touching your lips. Get as close as you possibly can, and they're going to get in closer and closer, and I'm going to tell them, get in closer, don't you kiss her, don't you kiss her, and then even you can get a real kiss, and you can, at that point, you can just be like, dude, just grab her ass, you can do that stuff, and it ignites a moment, and now their lips are in close, and he gives her a little squeeze, and she lights up, or she smacks him, or something happens, and there's realness there, right? It's igniting the moment. You need to ignite it. You need to inject responses to you in a genuine way, and the genuine way happens because you actually know them. You know the couple. You know if you're going to offend them or if you're not. So it's hard. It takes practice. Megan says, how frequently do you meet with your clients/potential clients? Do you meet with them when they reach out for pricing? Give pricing over email? I'm meeting with potential clients at least 2 to 3 times per couple, and it's taking a lot of time. How do you juggle this? Or what's your alternative? Megan, great question. So it sounds like you're meeting with potential clients 2 to 3 times before they're even booking you. Okay, I'm meeting with potential clients at least 2 to 3 times per couple, and it's taking a lot of time. How do you juggle this? I mean, I'm not meeting with clients 2 or 3 times before they book, so that's for sure. I guess I'll just go down through your questions. So how frequently are you meeting with couples, clients, potential clients? I usually meet with them one time, right? So I'll meet with them one time in person before they actually book. I don't think I've ever met with someone twice before they booked. It takes once. Do you meet with them when they reach out for? Do you meet with them when they reach out for pricing? Give pricing over email. Okay, so let me just. Okay, this is all kinds of questions, but how do you handle a lead? The lead emails you and they say, "Hey, send me over your pricing and packaging, please," whatever it may be. We never email a client right off the bat. Email is the last resort. If you want to be forgotten, email all of your leads. If you want to be out of business next year, email all of your leads. If you want to be compared apples to every other photographer out there, email your leads. If you actually give a rip about your business, about your family, about your income, about your clients, about photography, then I want to encourage you to start calling your clients. And I know that's easy to say, and there's a whole kind of system that I have in regards to that, but we call every client. So today, like I said, I had 2 phone calls with couples. And so that's where we're going, and we're talking, and we're spending probably 20 minutes not talking about photography, and then the last 5 minutes talking about photography. The entire purpose of that call is to provide value in that moment, in that instant, to give them something, whether they book us or not, to give them something. And that something is an expectation of the rest of the value that they're going to receive upon the relationship that we spend together. All right, that couple will leave knowing and falling more in love with their spouse when before they picked up the phone, if that makes any sense. The conversations that we're having are ones that, they really are giving something back to the couple, and I don't know how else to say that without spending 2 hours right now and going through the entire system. But we really are intentionally positioning those phone calls to just give to our couples and to learn and to ask and to listen and to give. And from that phone call, a meeting gets scheduled, and that meeting is the time where we're going to start going over all of our prices, all of our value, all of our packages, all the nitty-gritty, and it's at that point that they decide to book us or not to book us. And so 2 to 3 meetings, I don't see how that's happening. I mean, I guess I could see, but it's not what we do, I guess. It's a great question, Megan. And this is stuff too, by the way. So in the workshop that I'm doing, Abundance, Maximizing Joy, Meaning, and Profits, is going to get, like, that's what it's all about. It's entirely how we handle all of this. We're going to do live pre-consultation meetings. We're going to do live phone calls with all the attendees. We're going to do live post-sale meetings that go into how all of that takes place. And the reason why we do it, because again, the reason why we do it is not for a magical script. It's not a magical script that books a client. It's literally because we care about them. It's because we want to give them something up front before we ask anything in return. Okay, Taka says, I'm here. I just discovered this. Thank you. Taka, what's up? I'm glad you just discovered this, and I'm so glad you're here. Justin Morris says, hey, Ben, I did my first wedding as a second shooter. I want to do more second shooting before I even think of being responsible. By the way, I'm struggling reading these because I broke my darn iPhone, and so I'm like reading in between the cracks. Okay, I want to do more second shooting before I even think of being responsible for one of my own. If someone approached you saying they wanted to second shoot with you, what would get that person in the door with you? Wow. It's going to take a lot to get them in the door with me, to be quite honest. Only because we have a lot of second shooters who do want to second shoot us. We do have a pool. There's 3 full-time photographers at Style and Story Creative. We have consistent second shooters that we do prefer to work with. The very first thing that I want is out of a second shooter is I don't just want one-off shooters. When we move forward with the second shooter, I'm actually looking for consistency throughout the year. And anymore with second shooters, I don't have time for handouts. I don't have time to say, yeah, just come on and join. Even at a second shooting position, the expectation for me is incredibly high. I think people think I'm really intense on a wedding day, and if you were to ask any second shooter of mine, they would tell you that. But it's for, I mean, there's a good reason why I am. I take what I do incredibly seriously. So to get in the door for us, it's actually a commitment level for starters. I want to have a second shooter with me through the entire year. I can't teach you jack in one single wedding. I can teach you a lot in a season. And so as much as you'd be second shooting and wanting to give back, I want to also be providing to you. And I can't do that in a single wedding. And so I want someone who's committed for a season with us. And then as well, I do want to see an expectation. I want to see portfolio. I want to see that that you know what you're doing. And so different studios are different, right? So maybe second shooting for a company like us wouldn't be the very first second shooting job you'd get. Maybe it would be. It just all depends. So that's what I'd be looking for. I think, too, I just need to look for someone who I can have a really good time with. Wedding days are stressful, and I don't have time to handhold, to coddle, to deal with your emotions. I'm just being incredibly blunt right now. I just don't have time for that. I don't have the energy for it, and I don't have this the capacity within the stress level that takes place on a wedding day to do that. So there's actually been a situation where I had to let a second shooter go because I couldn't just enjoy my time with them, right? You know how it goes. You're stressed enough on a wedding day. I need someone who I can do this with together, and we can find life and joy in it together. And so that's actually it's EQ. It's emotional intelligence. I'm looking for someone with really high EQ, emotional intelligence. I don't care if you have all the right lenses and you know how to use your Canon 5D Mark IV. I care about someone who's going to work their butt off, who has emotional intelligence, and who's ready to commit at a high level with us. That's what I look for. And I think that's probably true of any job. I think that's what brides are looking for, right? Brides could care less if your images are good or if they're great. They could care if they have real connection with you as a person. They care if you have passion. These are the things. It's EQ, man. Okay. Megan says, any tips on how to shoot a lower budget wedding in a gym or small venue, VFW, you know what I mean, and make it look more expensive? I'm not shooting ideal clients, but love the challenge. Any tip, advice for past experience would be helpful. You guys, when we started Style and Story Creative, we were in Bowling Green, Ohio. For those of you who don't know, Bowling Green, Ohio has a population of about 30,000. It's also the location of the National Tractor Pulling Competition. And so look, I love Bowling Green, but it is a Bodunk college town. This is where we built our brand. This is it. And so to this day, actually, even where my wife and I grew up, we grew up in Huron, Norwalk, Ohio. My wife's mascot in Norwalk, Ohio. I love Norwalk, by the way. But they're the Norwalk Truckers, right? And so these are a little bit more farm towns or smaller. relative to like a big city. And so we still have clients all the time, you guys. We kind of have two couples. We have two kind of clients that we tend to serve. We tend to serve people who either A, have like the baller budget and they want to go all out and they want the best of the best and they hire us. We also tend to have the couples who they've spent the last 5 or 6 years watching our growth, watching what we've been doing. They're from our hometown. They're from Toledo. They're from Bowling Green, and they just really want great images. They want their memories preserved. They really want their story to be told well, and they're recognizing that the entire wedding budget isn't massive, but they're willing to spend more on photography because they know it matters. And so we find ourselves quite often, you guys, at some of these smaller venues, right? And we love it. It's so refreshing. It's so enjoyable. It's so fun. And so this is why off-camera lighting is so important. Because the tip that you're looking for is it's an off-camera lighting question. This is a question about gear. This is a question about aesthetics. This is a question about how do you turn a VFW and make it look baller, and it's entirely about off-camera lighting. We should show you a shot that Ben Adams took of a cake at the last wedding. The cake was up against the wall in a corner, and he shot it one way and then he shot it another, and it was just incredible. Through off-camera lighting, you are able to shape a room and shape the aesthetic of a space that doesn't have it. It's really tricky for me to get much more detail than that, but apart from just saying off-camera lighting, maybe I can try to send you over some work, some examples of it. But off-camera lighting is key. It's key. And compression, 85 millimeter, 1.4. Get a flash off your camera. Start lighting subjects. Start spotlighting subjects. Start stepping back and shooting through things. And that's how you start to make stuff look amazing that wasn't necessarily amazing to the naked eye. That's what I got for you. Mark, where do you advertise for new wedding clients? Great question, Mark. We have an entire course coming out called Book to the Ultimate Guide to Wedding Photography Leads. It's the new version. It's an entire video series I'm doing, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how we keep our calendar booked up. We advertise a lot of places. There's a lot of things that we do. For starters, word of mouth works. But it is not 100% passive. You have to know the triggers. You have to know what goes into an effective word of mouth campaign, aka value-driven growth. And so I unpack the entire process of actually taking control of your word-of-mouth campaign, meaning I think so many photographers, if you were to ask them, how do you get clients? How do you get clients? They're all going to say word of mouth, word of mouth, word of mouth. Dude, even right now, if I just told you, oh yeah, great question, Mark, word of mouth, that's just a BS answer, and it assumes that word of mouth is just passive and it just works and you just show up and you just keep shooting and then things start working, and then that's not true. It's value driven growth. And so we have a blueprint. We've kind of a system of things that we do to keep our word of mouth campaigns working and moving and actually engaging people. And so that's a big part of it. Our organic SEO, right? If you were to Google Columbus wedding photographers, we're probably going to show up on the first page. And so there's been a lot of work with that, a lot of hustle. There's an entire, half of the book is entirely on how we've done that. I'm not talking about AdWords. I'm not talking about paid things. I'm talking about organic, right? Wedding Wire's helped. It's not been a deal breaker, but we are on Wedding Wire. We're on the top spot of that. And I don't encourage you to just go jump in and go buy in on Wedding Wire. I would say start with their free option and start generating reviews on Wedding Wire. Start getting Wedding Wire reviews going, right? And use the freeness, use the free Wedding Wire, ignore the phone calls that they're going to try to get you to upgrade until you get 30 reviews in there, right? 30 amazing reviews. And now suddenly your Wedding Wire page is starting to have some pull. Those testimonials are key. And that's also, by the way, dude, it's all different. The Knot and Wedding Wire, they're different for different cities. So I can't give that global blanket statement you should be on Wedding Wire, because maybe you shouldn't. Maybe the Knot is a better solution for your city. You just need to do some market research and take a look into that. Other than that, partnerships with other professionals, other vendor partnerships, and this goes back to word of mouth, because word of mouth isn't just brides; it's other vendors. So connecting and partnering with other vendors has also been really huge for us. So I mean, that's another deep question that I have I have a book on it. Literally, I've written a book on it, and so I'd have to just give you the book on it. Jason, thank you. Megan says no. Megan denies my answer. No. I meet with potential clients at least once to go over pricing. Once they book, I meet 2 to 3 times. Oh, I see what you mean. So Megan, going back to your question, you're saying that you're meeting with actual booked clients 2 to 3 times before the wedding. Um, so uh, I'm trying to actually imagine what those 2 to 3 times would be. So they book you. Does that count as one? So they book you. So there's a meeting there. Then at a certain point, you're probably gonna have an engagement shoot. It's a second meeting, right? And then the third one, I guess, could be a scheduling meeting. I mean, and if that's the case, then like, I mean, this is what it is. It comes with the territory. You know, it's like for, I mean, 3 meetings leading up to the day. Again, if it's the first one's booking, second one's engagement shoot, last one is a scheduling. The last one, the scheduling, could turn into a phone call, right? You can handle that. But it comes with education. It comes with managing expectations, right? And taking leadership. So my guess is what's happening is they're coming to you because they're worrying about the schedule, and so they're saying, "Hey, can we meet to talk about the schedule?" And you don't want to say no because you probably are a people pleaser like most of us. Like I'm saying that like as a people pleaser myself. When a bride asks me a question, I always just want to be like, "Yes, of course, we can do that." And so what's happening is you're not managing the expectations and educating them along the process, and so they're coming to you, and you don't want to say no. And so I think. I guess I'd be curious to hear if there's any other reason why they'd want to meet with you, or why another meeting is taking place. But for us, we're letting them know at every step what is the next step, right? We're making sure that they are informed. Part of the way that we do that is with Tave. We use Tave, and Tave has automated email systems set up, and so we have automated emails that get timed to send out to each bride at certain stages along the way, right? So at 6 months, they might get an email that's a scheduling tips email that manages the expectation and gives them ideas on things to be thinking about, followed up with a questionnaire. That questionnaire is going to be to ask questions, followed up with, there's just a number of emails that we can kind of set up. And we always do have a phone call, right? So there's a phone call meeting just to go over the email that we've sent out and just to make sure that we're all on the same page. But I think that's probably a huge part is making sure that in a lot of ways you do have to kind of hold a bride's hand and really make sure that they know what to do. Like they've never done this before, right? And so they're usually they don't know what to do. And so they're calling you as the expert, asking, hey, should we meet up to talk about the schedule? But it's because they just don't know. And so you need to be more informative. You need to educate your couple better. And again, just be more proactive. And have systems in place that will cut that stuff off at the head, right? For example, if you're getting calls or emails, hey, when are my pictures going to be ready? That means you're doing something wrong. It means that you're not informing your couple multiple times, letting them know, managing the expectation. Your pictures are going to take 3 weeks. Your pictures are going to take 8 to 10 weeks. You need to manage that expectation multiple times throughout the point of contact. I use Tave, like I said. Tave really helps us to create automated systems custom to our studio. There's a bee that literally has landed on my finger. That was awesome. And so anyhow, Tave, I think Tave is giving 20% off and an additional free month if you want to check it out. And so it's Tave is already really affordable. So if you want to check out Tave, use the coupon code 6figure photography, all capitals, no spaces, and they'll give you 20% off. And I think 2 months free if you use the link. I'll drop the link down below for you guys if you want to check it out. So there's bees all over me. You guys, thank you so much for the questions. Thank you so much. If there's any others, I'll take them. If not, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to go ice my ankle. I sprained it. I've got a wedding to shoot on Sunday, and so I want to make sure I'm able. I'm able. So thanks again, everybody. If there's further questions that come in that aren't live, I'm going to do one of two things. Either one, I'm going to respond to your Tave, T-A-V-E. Okay, I'll put a link down there for you, Mark, and you can check out the link that I send out to you, because the link is where you're going to get all the bonuses that they'll hook you up with. They're a supporter of ours. They're a supporter of the podcast, and so they've done this for you guys if you want to check them out. So it's specifically to the Six-Figure Photography audience. What was I saying? Yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Anyhow, yeah. Two things. One is if there's more questions, if you're not watching this live, write the questions in, and I'll either respond written or I'll save it for next Friday, and I'll just respond to you that way. So, you guys, if it's my wife's birthday on Sunday, September 11th. So shoot her a little happy birthday. Give her some hearts. Give her some love, and we'll talk soon, you guys. Bye, everybody.